Wait, so we've got a really tough one today.
Yeah.
This is the story of Jennaleah Hin.
Mm-hmm.
And 17 years old from Henderson, Nevada.
Right.
You know, somebody reached out to us about this case. Obviously, it's a really tragic story. A young girl disappears. And, you know, there's a lot of attention on this one.
Absolutely. And, it's one of those stories that just, it grabs you. It grabs your heart. And it's hard not to get invested in what happened. I mean, missing person cases are always tough. But something about this one, the community really rallied around it.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, you see that in some of the information that was sent to us. You know, the effort to try to find her, it was massive right from the beginning.
Huge. I mean, we're talking helicopters, drones, K-9 units, horses,
Yeah.
volunteers, people coming out from everywhere.
Even students from her own school, Foothill High. Like, everyone was just kind of, like you said, wanting to be a part of it, wanting to bring her home.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I think that's what makes it so compelling. It's that it went beyond just a standard investigation. This was a community, almost taking ownership. And, the timeline here is really important to understanding the way that this case kind of unfolded.
Yeah.
So she leaves home on December 30th, 2024, right?
Right, after a family argument. And I think that's what, obviously really set off the alarm bells.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not unusual for a teenager to maybe have a disagreement with their parents and storm off.
Sure. Yeah.
But something about this, it was different.
Well, I think that the circumstances surrounding it probably led people to believe that something wasn't right. And then, of course, when you start seeing the scale of the search
Right.
and the amount of resources that are being poured into it, that's when you start to understand that this is serious. And like you mentioned before, it's the parents, right? I mean, the parents' pleas for her return.
Heartbreaking.
Absolutely heartbreaking. I mean, the mother saying, "I want you safe. We love you so much. Please come home." You can feel the desperation in her voice. And I think that resonated with a lot of people, with a lot of parents in the community.
It's that human element, right? Like,
Yeah.
we all can kind of imagine ourselves in that position.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, the search comes to a tragic end. January 6, 2025.
Yeah.
A hiker finds a body in the desert. They give a location east of Desert Sunflower Circle and Spanish Needle Street.
So specific. Yeah.
Yeah. And, authorities are able to confirm it's Jennaleah.
And that's what shifts everything, right? Because now it's not just a missing person case. Now it's an investigation.
Absolutely. And, the desert presents unique challenges.
Oh, of course. I mean, you've got the elements, the exposure, the vastness. It's not like looking for somebody, in a city.
Right.
Everything's so spread out.
And evidence can disappear so quickly. I mean, you've got wind, you've got animals, you've got, the heat. All of these things can really make it difficult for investigators to piece together what happened.
And so much is riding on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, there are still so many unanswered questions.
Absolutely.
The cause of death, the manner of death,
Yeah.
all pending investigation. I mean, this is where the real work begins.
Yeah. And, it's important to remember that, while this search was a community effort, the quest for justice, that's going to be a long road.
Yeah.
And it's one that, will require a lot of patience, a lot of careful analysis. And hopefully, at the end of it all, there will be some answers for the family, for the community.
Yeah. This has been a really, really tough one. Jennaleah's story is one that it stays with you. It makes you think about, the importance of family, the preciousness of life.
Absolutely.
And how quickly things can change. We can only hope that the investigation will bring some kind of closure to her loved ones. It's all we can really hope for at this point. Thanks for listening to Justice for the Souls podcast.